The honourable member for Fort McMurray.
Wood Buffalo.
Wood Buffalo. My apologies. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is with great honor that I rise today to give my maiden speech to this Assembly. Mr. Speaker, it is truly an honor to sit in this 29th Legislative Assembly as the MLA for the constituency of Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo. Though these are not the first words that I have spoken in this House, I am proud to say that the first words I spoke were to address the issues of senior supports in my home riding. I stand here today to speak of my constituency, my community, my home. Fort McMurray, a region also known as Wood Buffalo. This area is the second largest municipality in Canada at over 66,000 square kilometers. It is a land of hot, long summer days and cold, wintry nights. During the hottest days, the sun barely dips below the horizon and energy bounds in all people. In winter, it's a land where the aurora borealis lights up the sky with a shimmering and awe-inspiring beauty, where the light of the moon is reflected in the snow. It's a land settled by people from across Canada, from across the world. People truly have the pioneering spirit, that same drive that encourages people to explore, to leave their homes, their families, with the hope of succeeding and ultimately creating a better life for themselves, for their families. It is this same pioneering spirit that created Canada, the greatest country in the world. When I was young, my community was diverse. The people were Tany, Cree, and Métis. There were those who hailed from Newfoundland, New Brunswick, Quebec, and British Columbia. There was even a family from Ireland and another one from England. Today, there are people from places such as India and Pakistan, the Philippines and China, Peru, Brazil, and Somalia, Ethiopia, Nigeria, Sweden and Norway, Russia and Poland. Over 300 families moved to Fort McMurray from Venezuela after its socialist dictator, Chavez, found them to be no longer useful. It is an international community with a diversity that would rival any metropolis. It's a land of natural beauty. The flora and fauna are as diverse as any rainforest. Jack pine, lodgepole pine, tamarack, white spruce, black spruce, balsam fir, willow trees, and aspen, balsam poplar and birch trees, Saskatoon berries in abundance, and especially the Alberta wild rose thriving in Wood Buffalo. This land is also home to an amazing variety of wildlife. This is a wildlife that was the original export of this region. Furs from these animals were the basis of trade. Today, these animals flourish in this amazing habitat. Wood bison, moose, and caribou traverse this land. Wolves, coyotes, and black bears with muskrat, lynx, weasels, and red squirrels dot this region. Ducks, geese, whooping cranes, and swans nest in these wetlands. Bald eagles, hawks, and ravens fly overhead. Bats, nighthawks, and owls flitter through the wooded canopies of these forests. Grouse wander through the brush. It truly is an amazing ecosystem. This land is the epitome of the Great White North. It has the world's largest dark sky reserve and has the world's largest beaver dam. This area was first mapped by Western peoples in 1778. In 1790, Alexander Mackenzie described the oil sands for the first time. By 1870, free enterprise thrived with the Hudson's Bay and Northwest companies competing in this region. This region has a valued resource, a product upon which mankind so heavily relies upon, petroleum. The indigenous peoples of this area use this product to patch their canoes. This valuable resource has always been a controversial product, as it is expensive to wash sand of oil, so it is capital intensive. It is a product that Albertans have always known to be of great value, provided oil was sold at a certain price point in the global market. Dr. Carl Clark, a chemist and oil sands researcher, is best known for creating the process that separated the crude from the sand. It's interesting to note that his vision was that after an area had been mined, that it would be reclaimed and used for farmland. Alas, this aspect is not prominent in the North. You would think that this new government, who desires to promote local food production, would recognize this interesting aspect of the developments. Despite a footprint that is minuscule in relation to the region, with a vast expanse of boreal forest surrounding these plots of land that are being mined of this valuable resource, it is ridiculed and accused. It is made to be an environmentally unfriendly product, to be unethical oil, yet the hypocrisy around this is abound. Our energy sector has been a world leader in developing cutting-edge environmental technologies. We are proud of our history, proud of our industry, and proud of our stewardship of the land we love. With their activist rhetoric, anti-pipeline scorn, the NDP has labeled Alberta's goods as not environmentally friendly. And sadly, our Premier is leading the charge on this, labeling our province as Canada's embarrassing cousin. And instead of standing up for our beloved Alberta, this government continues to sympathize with regions that import unethical oil. By undermining our energy sector, this NDP government is damaging our competitive advantage. Petrochemical developments in California or the Gulf of Mexico escape this criticism. Countries such as Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Algeria, and Angola, with their questionable policies regarding freedom and equality, let alone environmental policies, elude this scrutiny. It is sad to see that there are Canadians that would prefer to support these regimes while discouraging developments that would create jobs and revenue for this country. I entered this world of politics because I wanted to effect positive change. The old PC government ignored this region, but greatly valued the money that it acquired for the products and jobs that this region produced. That PC government had a culture of entitlement, questionable ethics, and cronyism. An incompetent government that refused to twin a highway despite the federal friends that my good friend from Fort McMurray, Conklin secured when he was in the federal government. A government that ignored the needs of this community to grow despite being landlocked by Crown land, only to sit back and watch as the real estate values rocketed and reacted to the basic economics of supply and demand. A government that tried to move a seniors facility because the land where it was to be built was far too valuable. It was a government that I encountered in my previous life with the fire department in 2006 at an accident along that treacherous highway that would take so many lives. Despite the attempts by two of their own esteemed members to draw attention to this highway, despite them encountering an accident where we were rescuing a person, no action was taken by that government. Their incompetence continued until 2015 when the people finally stood up and said no more. Today, I see a party who's lost its voice, whose only desire is to jockey for Senate seats in a federal Liberal government. The people of Alberta have spoken, but did not know this newly invigorated Wild Rose. They were so disillusioned by the old government that they blindly supported a socialist party. This new government is made up of people who until recently picketed and marched and said no more tar sands, no pipelines, no more development in the north. This is a government made up of idealists with a nativity and becoming of a governing party, an attitude and position that they quickly learned was not in line with Albertans. This little support that they have shown is countered by them supporting groups in other provinces who continue to fight our ability to get our product to the world. They point to the birds that die due to the oil sands development, but ignore the birds killed by wind turbines. It is a hypocrisy that is difficult to comprehend. Let the people of my home know that they have a voice in our legislature, and that my good friends and I of the Wild Rose will continue to fight for all Albertans. As the MLA for Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo, I will continue to respect our citizens, community organizations, and industry. I will support this government when they operate on common sense values to the benefit of our region, as well as all Albertans. I will advocate for jobs, healthcare, our seniors, and the economy. I'll bring value-added ideas and engage with residents to also bring theirs. I will support and promote the Alberta Advantage. I will represent. Thank you.
Hear, hear.